G'day everyone, I'm Dad, this is Son, from our Dad vs Son YouTube Wargame channel.
Please help out a poor, young, downtrodden grognard in the making and subscribe to our channel. Maybe then Dad will give me more time.
Our channel is spelt DADVSSON.
Oh, and by the way, the most important bit. This is the one and only No Enemies Here Wargaming News.
Alright people, I think we have 2 weeks left, grosso modo. We're the 16th, so I think I cut it off the 28th, I had said, that Saturday, because then we go into the new year, 2020. So don't forget to vote for your favorite grognard, and I can't wait to see the winner. GMT and Red Storm Baltic approaches. Red Storm Baltic Approaches is the first expansion for GMT's Red Storm game of operational level air combat between NATO and the Warsaw Pact. What you get with this game are 2 maps 34 by 22 inches, 1 rule scenario appendices booklet, 1 counter sheet, 1 player aid, 2 aircraft data cards, 2 naval data cards, 2 naval display cards, and 1 pad naval unit log sheet. The complexity is high, solitaire suitability is medium. Space Corps Ventures. This is the first module of Space Corps, a game of exploring and developing the solar system and beyond. And what you get with this game are 14 double-sided HQ boards, 27 cards, 1 contract disc, 1 updated solitaire player aid, 1 rulebook, and 1 1/2-inch box. Complexity is medium-low, solitaire suitability is sky-high. This is a game designed by John Butterfield, developed by Jason Carr. The Weimar Republic. This is a game designed by Gunnar Hollenbach. The Weimar Republic is a card-driven game of political struggle in interwar Germany. 4 factions compete for dominance: the Democratic Coalition, the Soviet-backed Communist Party, Hitler's National Socialists, and the far-right Radical Conservatives. And what you get with this game: a 22 by 34 inch mounted map board, 4 player mats, 165 cards, 150 yellow, red, brown, and black influence cubes, 3 black conservative click squares, 8 white pawns, and 4 colored pawns, a sheet of full color counters, 4 player aids, rulebook, playbook. Complexity is medium, solitaire suitability is sky high. A new channel that was brought to my attention, Dad vs. Son, are playing Corsair Leader, a game published by DVG, designed by Dan Verson, and they're playing the Battle of Midway. Check it out. It's like Sunday morning PBS kind of stuff, man. Well, it seems that not only the player's aid pump out videos like crazy, or GIMPY, making me work hard, but Dad vs. Son, since yesterday, put out another 5. This time they're playing United States Navy Battle of Leyte Gulf in Corsair Leader. Same as before. Game, that is, and publisher, and designer. BLASTPOP is reconning NATO Air Commander, Solitaire Strategic Air Command in World War III, a game designed by Brad Smith and published by HOLLANDSPIELE. Marco Omnigamer, aka Wargamer, is checking out a Vevictus folio game called Orage à l'Est Toi, Ukraine, Kiev, 1943, and it includes rules in English. The strong man of war games, Rob Orn of Rob's Tabletop World, takes a look at Emmanuel Arquin's new game published by World Forge Games. Actually, this is the 2nd edition, D-Day Dice. Heidi Jester does a live unboxing of Heroes of Normandy and Lock and Load's Solo by Lock and Load's Publishing. Lock and Load's Publishing. Yeah, okay. He does an unboxing of Lock and Load Tactical Solo module and the Heroes of Normandy with the Lock and Load Tactical System. Lock and Load. And the Genset Steve Jackson Games continue their Car Wars 6th edition explanation, and now they're checking out obstacles and cover. The Federation of Italian War Game. Yep, that's a thing now. Federazione Italiana War Game. and it's Riccardo Mazzini and his dad, Mr. Mazzini. They talk, they have a little conference, and they intellectualize and talk about new and up-and-coming things and or strategies and or. Check it out. USA Patriot 4163 takes a brief look at an old SPI game, the Ardennes Offensive, the Battle of the Bulge, December 1944. GMT just released their monthly update for December 2019. ARDWULF of ARDWULF'S LAIR. He's in his lair and he's giving us his year in review 2019. ARDWULF, close to his 2,000 subscriber event, unboxes Hearts and Minds 3rd edition, a game by Compass Games. Counterproductive Games is taking a look at Nations at War Rulebook version number 3 from Lock and Load Publishing. He also unboxes Conflict of Heroes Storms of Steel 3rd edition, a game designed by Gunther and Uwe Eichert, published by Academy Games. Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming is giving us a video of games that are best and worst to him of 2019. Best new and worst games of 2019. GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer has got a couple of videos out, the first one being a playthrough or review through of Core Space, the sci-fi miniature game Salvage, Trade, Adapt, and Survive. And he also has, actually that's an overview, excuse me. And he also has a couple of videos out on Space Infantry, Resurgence, Boot Camp, number 6, Mission Setup, and number 7, Enemy and Unit Selection. Jan Heinemann of Let's Play History has a couple of videos out, the first one being Weihnachtsansprache, Kanal Update. Well, it's a channel update, I know that much, but in his Weihnachtsansprache, I know it's something knight speak. Well, and he's got another one called Einführung in Flottenmanöver. So, I don't know, and he's floating a maneuver. But check him out, it's a Strategic Command World War I. It's a versus video. Check it out, Jan, the World War II intellect.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of war game review institutions. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. First game we're doing a review of this week on our website is from Decision Games. It's the Campaign of Montrose. It's a mini game with a lot more movement options than you get in your typical mini game. It's about the Marquis of Montrose during the First English Civil War, who goes on a campaign against the Covenanter government from Scotland. It was a lot of fun to play, and I think you guys will like the review. Like I said, it's a step above the typical mini game, so that's good. The first game we're doing a first look at on our YouTube channel is the French Foreign Legion from Yaquinto Publishing. It's a game about defending a fort in the middle of the desert from Bedouin raiders. It has all sorts of interesting rules about grappling hooks and stuff, and it also has several scenarios. Looks like an interesting game, but do not under any circumstance pay the prices these pirates are charging for this on eBay and stuff. There's people charging $150, $250 for this game. Looks interesting. I wouldn't pay that. I got it punched but complete for less than $20. As far as a complete unpunched version, I wouldn't pay more than $60, so don't give these pirates any of that money. These prices are charging are ridiculous. Next game we're doing a first look at on our YouTube channel is a role-playing game. It's Dreadmire, which is a 3rd edition D&D D20 compatible source book. It's everything you would ever need to know about putting swamps in your campaign. It has 300 new monsters. It has new character classes, new weapons. It has new spells, all sorts of new stuff. It even has new languages with runes that you can use to translate. There's like 12 languages. It's just utterly amazing, and it even has a section telling you about the bugs in the swamp, and there's also new hazards it introduces, like earthquakes and tornadoes and all sorts of different hazards that you would only find in a swamp. So it just looks utterly amazing, and the good thing about it is, even if you don't play 3rd edition D&D, you could port it. I've used it with D&D 5th edition, and I didn't have to do very much work to get the parts I needed to use with it, work with it. So anyhow, if you see it on the used market, pick it up. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon on our website and on our YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
Awakening the Bear, 3rd edition, available now. Storms of Steel, 3rd edition, available now. Then the OG, the original Grognard, is taking an in-depth look at the solo assistant for Nations at War and World at War 85 from Lock and Load Publishing. The OG also plays World at War 85, the expansion, Storm and Steel. It's a playthrough. Only way the OG can do it. I mean, only the way OG can do it. Beyond Solitaire has a video out entitled What I Want for Christmas 2019 edition. The gents at Little Wars TV, Miles and Keith, are reviewing Star Wars Legion, a 2018 game published by Fantasy Flight Games. Mo of Mo's Gaming Table is unboxing Red Storm, the Air War over Central Germany, 1987. A game designed by Douglas Bush with the system design of Lee Birmingham Wood, and this is published by GMT. Mo is also unboxing MBT, the FRG expansion, a game designed by James Day, and it's about West German Army tank-to-tank combat in 1987 Germany. And Bruno Albuz from the Real Deal Cooking Channel. He's cooking a farro risotto with an egg a la Poulignac. What the? You want to know what's happening on the big board? I'll tell you what's happening on the big board. Kevin Bigman CEO and all that garbage. That World at War 85 chat on the Air with Lock and Load. Plus another video of Storming the Gap, World at War 85 Shrink Ripper, and Fanboy something. He spells boy wrong. I don't know. Is he from Australia or something? Because, you know, it's down under and things are different there. The water doesn't go the same way as our water goes. Anyways, big board, ladies and gentlemen. And Kev also does the pre-knowledge game plan assessment of Mark Simonich's Stalingrad 42. You know, pre-knowledge game plan assessment. I mean, if I was in the army, I'd want this guy to be my commanding officer. Because it's like, it's a game, right? But in real war, he'd have pre-knowledge plan assessment, not game plan assessment. I'll follow you anywhere, Kev. Riccardo Massini, the professor, in his vlog special, he talks about a Parabellum 7. I think this is a magazine game, I might be mistaken. And also, Merry Christmas. And I will tell you something. You know, it's worth learning Italian just to listen to this guy and his dad. These guys are intellects par excellence. These guys, as Riccardo, is a scholar when it comes to war games, history, in war games, and all. He's been doing it since he was like 2. Come on, learn Italian, listen to Riccardo. He's the Mozart of history and war games. Yeah. Gamers Aid give their initial thoughts on Hannibal and Hamilcar from Phalanx Games, a game designed by Mark Simonich. Lock and Load Publishing has about a couple of million videos out, the first one being Boot Camp of Space Infantry Resurgence, Embark, Disembark, Vehicles, Poison, Grapple and Ambush, Resources, Combat, and Variable Flames. That's a lot. Rough Swordsman Wargamer continues his Utah Springs playthrough from the Battles of the American Revolution Tri-Pack, Part 7 from GMT, and also continues Part 3 of a playthrough of Castle Itter from GMT and designed by David Thompson. You know, it's a beautiful time to be a wargamer. Look how many people do playthroughs, reviews. It's insane! I mean, if you thought that in the 70s it was the golden era, I don't know, man. We're in the golden era now. Sure, that was the foundation, but this is the golden era. Ask Mark Herman. Charles Cabb of the Charlotte Area Historical Gaming does a overview of the American Civil War by Worthington Games. Napoleon's triumph on what's on the table for December 2019 gives us a quick look at what's on the gaming table for December 2019. You see how I did that? I said the same thing twice, but in a different tone, so it sounds different. I'm amazing. The Wargamer continues his introspective and overview, kind of like playthrough, instructional video of Hurtgen, Hell's Forest, Scenario 1, the 8th of November 1944, morning and evening game terms. Wargamer, I hope I did you justice. Steve Jackson Games are live with Car Wars 6th Edition Death Duel. That's gotta be fun, man. Cody of the Discriminating Gamer has a video out called Cody and Hun's Top 10 Games of 2019. Mark Walker of Flying Pig Games and Tiny Battle Publishing gives us an overview and a component overview of his new game in Old School Tactical Volume 3, his first production copy, and he seems stoked and happy about it.
A game for gamers, made by gamers, by Flying Pig Games.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from Christmas. No enemies here. Dan, keep that program up. Feliz Navidad from STUKAJOE.
This is Dad and Son. And Son, I have to have a talk with you. You know, Son, it's nice to see young chitlins like you getting into war games, you know? Growing up a grog. You know, and your dad's doing something that I don't think you picked up on. Well, I'm just going to say that life later on might give you this type of scenario. Hey, does anybody want to play games? So what your dad is doing, by the videos that I've seen on your channel, Dad and Son, is that you're playing solitaire games, but together. Your dad is prepping you to play alone. Because nobody wants to play war games. That's my experience. Well, anyways, don't grow up like this guy or this guy. You know, you're going to watch his channel, but all he does is recite the alphabet. So anyways, congratulations on your channel, Son, and keep grogging. I subscribe to Dad vs. Son. You? Thank you to Daniel Lutzak for giving me this tip on Swords and Sails. This is a Kickstarter that's already been backed, but you can lay back and pledge it. Sword and Sails is an epic conquest and diplomacy game about leading your armies and fleets through medieval Europe in 1000 AD. This is a 2 to 7 player game, plays in about 90 minutes, and what you get with this game are 2 18 by 27 6 full detailed historic maps, faction components per player. That's a lot of stuff. The Mary and Tom Show, episode 93, where they talk about the Hollandale sale update, what's out of stock, cold hands and feet, and Mary runs over Tom's foot with her car. Harold on Games has a new podcast. He is interviewing Bruno Sinigalio. They met at ConsimWorld Expo this past summer, and they discuss his work updating the Avalon Hills Battle of Bulge 1965 to the Battle of the Bulge 1981. Harold on Games, episode 27. Space Rumsfeld, Bruce Garrick, Wild Weasel number 17. It's been a while since Bruce has posted something up on his podcast, and judging by the comments below, something heated happened on this podcast. Well, let's check it out. Mauro Faina talks about Napoleonics and a year in review.
Prostate cancer. Have you or somebody you know been recently diagnosed? Overwhelmed? Embarrassed? Get information and listen to 52 conversations from guys just like you.
GCon 2020, the Big Frederick Gaming Convention, March 13th to 15th, 2020 in Frederick, Maryland. PressCon 2020, February 24th to March 1st in Charlottesville, Virginia. If you want to get your feet wet, the Dice Tower Cruise is happening, leaving Fort Lauderdale, January 24th, 2020, and coming back Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Check out the Dice Tower webpage for more information. In London, England, Cardboard Emperor Strategy and War Games, the 21st to the 22nd of March 2020, in the main room, Young Chelsea Bridge Club. Breakout 2020, where? In Toronto. When? March 20th to the 22nd, 2020. The premier tabletop gaming convention in Toronto, Canada. GaryCon 12, March 26th to the 29th, 2020, in the Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, USA. This con is named after Gary Gygax, the creator of Dungeons & Dragons. Another week, another show. Thank you to my patrons. Please support, subscribe, like, and if you don't like, leave your name so we can talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Anonymity is powerful, huh? So, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. And we have one more show before we have the final tally for Grognard of the Year 2019. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Harold on Games has a new podcast. Podcast number, I don't